Good morning, dear students. Today is a vocabulary lesson, Unit 4, Lesson 1. We start with this fabulous picture. Of course, it looks artificial because this is a place done by people in there. Let us read together. This is the Super Tree Grove in the Gardens by the Bay, a futuristic botanical gardens and park in Marina Bay, Singapore. The tree-like structure provide shade during the day and come alive with a display of light and sound at night time. The tallest of the super trees is 16 stories high. Story, that's a floor. So it's as tall as a building that is 16 stories or floors. And visitors can take a trip to the top. The super trees are made of concrete and steel, but they are planted with over 162,900 real plants, including tropical flowering climbing plants. That was about the place. Now just give it a thought. Which words describe the super trees? Silent, spectacular, completely natural, unique, ancient. Make your choices. Right? As you can see, spectacular. Can anyone give me a meaning of the word spectacular? Exactly. Amazing, fascinating, great, excellent, unique. That's one of a kind. All right, for us now, we are off to the first lesson. We start with the yellow box of the highlighted words. Start with, I will say the word and you should repeat after me. Drawback, drawback. Lifestyle, lifestyle. Picturesque, picturesque. Privilege, privilege. Remote, remote. Self-sufficient, self-sufficient. These are the main highlighted words, and for us now we are going through the text, reading the text. Maybe you know some of the words, give it a guess to the others. Let us try to come out with understood meaning as much as possible. Then we can guess the meaning of the other ones. So get our book, I'll read, and then just put your pencil on the article or the text and follow me with your pencil. Away from it all in Meta Venero. Interviewer and Lotte. Lotte, you live in a busy city, Amsterdam, but you have just spent 3 months in a community that is very far from city life. Tell us about it. Lotte, yes, I have just spent the spring with my family visiting Meta Venero. It's picturesque. It's a picturesque village high up in Sierra de Ancares mountains in Spain. Of course, these are names of places. Interviewer, Why did your family decide to go there? My mom and dad had been wanting to experience life away from the hustle and bustle of a city. They had both been working very hard since mom got a new job, so they wanted complete peace and quiet. Well, I imagine you got that. We certainly did. It's very remote. There are no roads leading to Metavenero, only a dirt track. How did you get there then? We got a bus, then we walked. It was a long way, but it was worth it. The views were spectacular. What did you learn about the village? Because it's so far from other places, it has to be self-sufficient. People grow their own food, build their own houses, and recycle their waste. You don't need much money in the village as there isn't much to buy. Has the village always been like this? No, it hasn't. The village's original inhabitants had been working in mining, but the village was abandoned in the 60s when life became too difficult. Then in 1989, the town was re-inhabited by 5 friends from Germany who had been searching for the place where they could live a self-sufficient lifestyle. They were joined by an international mix of others who shared the same vision. The group began to rebuild the exciting houses and build new ones. The eco-village that exists today has about 60 inhabitants. So you didn't have to go to school for a few weeks while you were there. That's what I had been hoping. But there was a school in the village. It was great though, and I made such a lot of fantastic friends. Were you sorry to leave Metavenero and come back to the city life? That's a difficult question. There are pros and cons. I loved it there. It was a privilege to experience totally different way of living. But there are drawbacks. Life there can be hard. All in all, Amsterdam is my home. That was about the text. Hope you've guessed some of the meanings of the words. For us now, we will go through it with our booklet. That should be page 100. Futuristic, something very strange and modern related to the future. Botanical, related to the plants. Structure, design. Stories, floors. I want to stop here for a moment with the spelling. Story. The book that has a story, S-T-O-R-E. So there is a big difference between story and story. That means floor, and that means a book maybe, or a movie. So you got the difference. The difference is in the spelling. All right. Then we have tropical flowers, flowers that grow in hot areas. The tropical areas are the very hot ones. We have spectacular, that's amazing. Unique, very special. Remind me of spectacular because we can do some interesting activity about it in the class. Drawbacks, disadvantages or negative things. Privilege, a good thing or advantage. Lifestyle, the way of living. Picturesque, have a beautiful and attractive view. Remote, very far. Self-sufficient, people take care of themselves and provide things by themselves. Meaning mutual interest means I can sell something that I have more than what I need, and you can buy it, and we can exchange things that help us to live in a good way. Ancient, I'm sure you know it, very old community, that's a society, the people who live in a particular area. Lead to, take you there, guide you there. Dirt track, a road in the countryside made of soil, not paved, doesn't have asphalt on like what we have in cities. Recycle, that's reuse and reprocess. Waste, leftovers, garbage, useless things. Original inhabitants, native people. Mining, the activity of removing coal, metal, gold, silver, whatever the mineral is, out of earth. Abandoned, empty, deserted. People don't live there anymore. Re-inhabited, people started to come to the place and live there again. Vision, idea. Eco-village, environmentally friendly village. A village that doesn't harm the environment. I'll stop here. Once we get to the collocations, we can come back to the booklet. For us now, we will get to the first activity for us, which is activity 4. It's about the highlighted words. Maybe some of you have already guessed it before we start the explanation in the booklet. Maybe you can go through the booklet first before you start answering this on your own. Pause the video, make your answers, and then we can correct it together. You can go now. Here we are back again for exercise 4. The city isn't difficult or picturesque, but it is a nice place to live. We replace it by picturesque, we can replace it by beautiful. They move to the country to experience a different lifestyle or drawback lifestyle. You can't drive to the village, it is very remote, away, very far. It is a privilege to visit such a wonderful place. They live far from many shops, so they have to be self-sufficient. Pollution is one of the drawbacks of city life. That was the first exercise. Now we are about the collocations. For the collocations, we will go first to the explanation we have, then we can get to the exercise. Fight, tooth and nail. Try very hard to get something you want. Doom and gloom. Have a feeling of sadness and no hope. Ins and outs. Ins and outs are the details or the facts related to something. Pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. Hustle and bustle, noisy and active. Peace and quiet, away from stress and interruptions. These are the collocations, and here there is a picture for some words. I mean, the picture can talk louder than words sometimes. So what is poured down, that's the concrete, that's the steel. All right, now back to the exercise. You will choose one of the 6 collocations to fill in the spaces. I would leave you to answer then you can come back for correction. You can pause the video now. Here we are back to choose. The residents have been fighting for better medical facilities. Medical facilities, that's the way the government should take care of the people. So they've been fighting tooth and nail, fighting very hard. I'm going to my house in the countryside for some. Of course, the countryside is silent, so we will say peace and quiet. Some people love the space of the busy cities. The busy cities they have a very noisy or active lifestyle, which is hustle and bustle. How does this scheme work? I don't understand the ins and outs of it. I don't understand the details of it. Don't moan all the time. Living in the country is not all doom and gloom. Moan means complain. What are the pros and cons of living in a remote village like Meta Venero? The pros and cons, the privileges and the disprivileges, the good things and the bad things about it. That was exercise 7. We will complete the rest of the exercises once we're together in the class. All the best, everyone. Hope you had a good time. Thank you. Bye bye.